the published? When you pages, all pages?
Yeah, because I knew where it was at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you're not sure where it's at, you can just click on publish because that's what you should be working on. That way it doesn't show you all your drafts and everything else that you have in there. So I just went to all pages, but because I knew what I was looking for. So one of the things that I, tell them to do is get rid of all of your images first, because you don't want your images to be a hindrance as to what you want to do. A lot of people don't get Google approval because they never change out their images. That's still an exact copy because you have them in the exact same place on the exact same page. That doesn't mean you can't use those images that's there. You need to move them. You need to swap them out. You need to change them. It's still an exact replica. So again, remove the images. That way, when you get finished your content, then you can go and find images. If you want to use the same image, that's fine. I promise you it won't be in the same place you removed it from. Thereby, it's a different page to Google. Images are important. It's an eye catcher. It keeps your reader engaged. It lets them know that there's something else coming up because you have an image there. You still want to make sure it's different. Even if it's the same image, put it in a different location, in a different paragraph. If you need to put it in a different page, that's fine. You can still recycle the images that you have in your media library. Just make sure that when you modify a page, that you also modify your images. Um, it's important because that will raise a flag with Google that you have still copied or scraped content because your images are exactly the same. So that's an important key that you do remove those images. Okay, let's see. Somebody has something in the chat. Yes, it's recording. I just had 2 different sessions. Okay. So, and then what we're going to do here is because I know that's not my number, so we're going to remove again. You want to break your links because again, that's something else you want to not have to deal with. You don't want the links in there. You want a clean, fresh page. All right, so we're going to remove all the links. Okay. There we go. And then we're going to update this page. So now we got rid of everything that can distract us from modifying this page. The only thing that should be there is our video, which is exactly what's there. And we can even move that in a minute. I'll show you how we're going to move that. So we're going to look at this. And then first thing I want to see is what his key phrase is. Okay, key phrase is Canada. So we can leave that as Canada if you want to. It's still a good page. It's still a good word. It's actually a great word. So if we type in the word Canada, it has 421,000 hits a day. People are looking for the word Canada. The traffic, that's how much potential traffic. Although you got 233 sites competing, you have a 65% chance of making the first page. In this instance, we don't necessarily want to be on the first page, but we do want to be on the first 5 pages. Now, if you want a chance to get a better ratio of getting on the first 5 pages, then you have to change your key phrase. One of the other key phrases that I found was, what was it? This was another one that I found in Wine Club. Technically it's a good keyword, but it's a bad keyword. All right, because you see how many people are competing for it. So you have a 2% chance of ranking anywhere with it because it's just too popular. Same thing with the wine club, anything with just plain wine club. But then when you start getting more specific, your chances go up a little bit better. But then you want to look at your traffic. So you want to make sure that your traffic also is good. So there's one I saw, it says Wine Club Inn. Where was that at? Because it had, is that it? Wine Club Inn? Or was it Wine Clubs? I think it was Wine Club. Yeah, so this one is Wine Club Inn. And so I'm looking for this not only as a title, but as a key phrase. So Wine Club Inn has this amount of traffic, or the average person, this is how many people is looking for it. This is the expected traffic that comes to your site. There's 210 competing websites that's using this particular key phrase. So you have a 72% chance of getting on the first page. However, we're going to change that a little bit. So we're going to say, instead of Wine Clubs in, we're going to say Wine Club in Canada. And now that's going to drop a little bit. So we're going to finagle a little bit. So see, Wine Club in Canada, it dropped. Okay, because now you only have is 120 people that's going to potentially, that's looking for that in particular, but you have a 97% chance of getting on that first page. There's 93 competing websites for that key phrase. So I'm going to use two different key phrases in two different ways. So we're going to leave Canada as the key phrase. The one thing I'm going to change is I'm going to make it a small c, not capital. Okay. You want your key phrase to always be in lowercase because it is case sensitive. If you put it in uppercase in your focus key phrase section, it has to be uppercase anytime you use it in your page. So that's why it's better to always put it in lowercase, even though it's a proper noun and it's supposed to be capitalized. We are not going to capitalize it. So then we're going to come up here and we're going to use that other key phrase. Wine Club in. All right, so Wine Club in Canada delivers to you. All right, so now let's see. I'm going to update this. All right, and we're going to look at our snippet. So our title is really good. It's in green. Our slug is still good. All right, because we used our key for our key word, which is Canada. It's still in there. So now what we're going to do and see what it's telling us. We don't have enough of that. We don't have enough of that. The exact key phrase. All right, so we're going to be changing a lot of this as we go through. All right, so now we're going to start at the beginning. And we are going to expand on this. And we're going to start off with our key phrase, which is Canada. Canada. Simple change. And you can do it one or two ways. You can actually modify it straight into your blog page, or we can do it here. We're going to do a new paragraph. I knew that.
So they're not shipping to Canada yet, right?
Not yet. We just have the training.
Okay, that's what I thought.
All right. So basically, I've taken this right here and put it here. Just changed it into my own words. And so I'm going to remove this, and that's going to move that up. So as you can see, I didn't say anything about this video. So I'm going to move this video. And the way you move a video is just, no, is you see this little box here, it actually allows you to move a video or any paragraph up or down from its current location. So I'm going to put it down here for right now. All right. All right, so this says it's $50. It's not, what is it, $59.95? I think it is. All right. So I'm actually going to change this and talk about this. So we're going to do a new paragraph. I'm going to do classic. So if you don't have classic, we're going to add classic. It's in your formatting slot. So then I'm going to come here and add classic. All right. So we just did that one. I'm going to get rid of this. And now I've already mentioned my video. So now they can look at my video, at the video. They don't like that. Okay. So there's the video. So we're going to hit our update. All right. So now they can see that. See how much of this I've already said. I already said that. So I basically said that here. What this is saying now. So we can get rid of this whole paragraph right here. All right. So now we're going to work on this. And we're going to do a paragraph block. And so basically this next information is talking about getting representatives, but we are no longer representatives. We're actually wine ambassadors. So now we're going to talk about how to get started. Let's say generate. All right. So now we've taken care of this. We just reworded this a little bit. So instead of saying build your fortunes in wine and so much more, I just put that by growing this, you can grow your business into multiple streams of income. All right. Same concept, just a different wording. We're going to take these two out. All right, so we're not going to say view the opportunity here because we already got it here. So we're going to take that out and then let's update. All right. So now we're going to do a header. And our header, and most people's like, well, how do I choose what size header to use? Here's my rule of thumb. The H1, which is the heading 1, is only used for your title of your page. You do not need to use it anywhere else in your page. If you do, you're going to get a flag or a little dot down in your Yoast saying that you used an H1. You don't need to do that. That's for exclusively for titles. H2 is an H3. Anything below H1 you can use in your page. The H2 is what I say is you use that for when you are starting with a brand new topic. You want to single out your next train of thought. You use H2, H3, H4, and below for subjects within that train of thought. So if you were writing like this one's, for instance, I'm going to say how to get started. So then if you want to do your little paragraph on how to get started, then you can do step 1 as an H3 or an H4. You can do step 2 as an H3 or an H4 because it's a subheading within your main topic. That's just my rule of thumb. That way it keeps everything flowing so people can come and look. Even though you have subheadings, they can see by it being smaller that it goes along with that other main topic. And because it is a topic, same thing with your title, you don't need to put punctuation. I know some people like to put periods and things like that. If you want it to stand out, you can use an exclamation or question mark, but you don't have to use a period because you're not really making a statement. It's not a full sentence. Exclamation and question marks just draw attention to make people think. If you use a period, it's sort of like a statement or declarative that you're actually saying this is the end of what my thought process is. So you don't have to use punctuation unless you want it to be like an exclamation point or a question mark. Do not use a period. You don't use a period either in your title or in your headline or header. Just rule of thumb. Now, the thing about your header, again, with Google AdSense, if you're applying, you still want your page to look different. A lot of people always make sure that everything is to the left, because that's what we're taught. You want things, make it centered. You can actually make it aligned to the right all the way, just to let it stand out. Center it, it's fine. Color it. Make it look different. Stand out. So you can do that with your text. So then you got how to get started. And then we're going to come and just do another classic block. And I like to mix up my blocks just because I do. So we're going to come up here and do okay. Okay. So there's that. So we're going to get rid of this. So then we're going to come here and just do, actually, I'm going to do let's change this. And I want to do a header. And this one, we're going to do a heading 3. And we're going to do customer. All right. So we're going to do that one. And I am actually going to pull in an image. And we're going to get this from our media library. And the reason I'm putting the images in now is because it's going to help me keep my train of thought. Usually I would wait until the end, but I'm going to do that now. And so then I can start my paragraph.
Sheila, could you show us too how to wrap around wording around an image too?
Yeah. Mhm.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so we're going to do this. All right, so you see what happened? As long as you don't update, I deleted a whole section by accident. Just hit the undo button. It brings it back. Now let's see what I was thinking. Oh, I had a good thought. Oh, All right. So now we're going to update this. Okay. And this is something entirely different, so we might leave that there. So now you were asking how to wrap around. So depending on where you want this image to place determines on where your wording goes. So we're going to align this to the right. Your image automatically wraps around it, and then you can size it up. And then you can hit your update. And then if you want to see how that looks, you just hit preview. And you can see how your picture shows up. See, that's a little bit too big for me because see, some of my words are not exactly the way I want to. So I can actually make this smaller still, or maybe let's move it to the opposite side and see how that looks. Did I click on the right one? See, the reason I don't want to get it too small is because then they can't read the actual information that's on the card, and I want them to read that information on the card. So that's a little small, so that's why I want to leave it where it was at. So, but if that's how you would wrap a picture, you just align it to where you want it to go. So we're just going to still leave this as a center alignment and then open it back up because I want them to be able to read the information on the card. Because I didn't put everything there, I just put the most important facts. But the card actually explains a lot. It also helps explain what each person will be able to get. So this one's
Thank
talking,
you.
you're very welcome. So this one's talking about the customer. All right, so we told a little about the customer. Then we're going to go in and actually talk about the different other options. So here we're going to do another paragraph. Okay, so then I'm going to break it down, and I always start, or you can start again, you can still mix it up. You don't want to have your pictures at the same place, especially if you're using this as a template for all your wine countries. You want to, have that option. So I'm going to do another header, and again, I'm going to do a heading 3. And I'm going to start with the Grand Cru. And I don't put these in caps, or I think I might have did the other one. You can. I can spell. All right, and then this one, since we did the picture here first, I'm actually going to do my paragraph first. All right. And so what I'm going to do is and this is the reason I wanted to put this in Classic, because now I can choose where I want this image to go. So I'm putting my cursor right here because I want it to go in between these two. And I'm going to click on my Add Media icon. And I'm going to find my Grand Cru. And I'm going to insert it into the page. And because it automatically aligns itself with the page, but I want it to be centered, and I also want it to be bigger. Made it a little fuzzy, but that's okay. We'll be fine with that. All right, so if I wanted to align that, I could also do it that way, which I think I will, but I think this one's centered, so we can do it that way. It's Grand Cru, they can still see that. And we're gonna link this anyway, so what we can do, even though they can't read it, they can still see a lot of it. The biggest thing I want them to see is this $600 referral. And then we're going to update. Okay, so that actually wrapped around there. And this is talking about the opportunity, and we can work on that later. So, so we have that, and then we're going to do the next one. We're going to do another heading. We're going to do a H3, and we're going to do reserve. How do I want to do this one? This one, let's say the Grand Cru. Okay, we got our reserve. And then because I know my student, I'm going to go ahead and put my next header because I know what my next header is going to be. No, I don't want to say that. So if you already know what your titles are going to be, you can go ahead and put those in there. H3, and then update. Then that way you go ahead and have your next train of thought already ready for you. So we're going to talk about, again, our reserve. And I'm just going to do a regular paragraph. Okay. So there's that, and I'm going to do the same thing with here. I'm going to get my image and I'm going to pull up the one for the reserve. This did this the other day. I don't know why this does this. See, now it won't put them in there. All right, so let's go back up here. I know we can get it.
Sheila, I know you told me this before and I completely forgot, but if you want to put more than one image in the same block, do
You
you
would
have to
do a
change?
gallery.
You do a gallery and then you can put them in the same block.
Mhm.
Would it be in a classic block though, or what?
No, you actually would choose this icon right here that says gallery.
Okay, because I seem like all of mine, I hate them going down in a row or something like that. I've been
Yep.
trying to do the,
Yeah, so all you'd have to
Okay.
do is just click on gallery. I'll show you this one just as an instance. So if we do gallery and choose from media library, this hopefully it'll give it to me. So if I wanted to do them all at one time, I can choose them in order and just click on that one, and you see it holds them down here. Then I can do reserve and the state, and it shows them in order, and then click add gallery. Then you get to look at it and see if that's the order you want them to show up, and then you're going to insert to gallery. Then once you do, it's going to have them right here. Then you can actually do your settings over here. So if I just wanted it to have 2, I can click on it and have 2 at the top and then one big one. If I want my images cropped, that means they all will appear to be about the same size, but you want to make sure they start out with the same size. And then that way all your images will appear with the same dimensions. So if you have a bunch of them that you want to do, then you can choose if you want them all to go in a row, however many you want in your columns. So that's how you would do that. And then just move your pictures that you have there, just delete them once you get your gallery set up.
okay, thanks. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome.
Sheila,
Uh-huh.
I've heard that Google now wants only a maximum of 3 pictures on a page.
That's not a Google thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they prefer you not to be bombarded with images. And the reason I'm saying that is because there was a lot of people that had like Amazon, and every time, about every 2 or 3 sentences, they had a picture. Google doesn't want to compete with your existing images. However, if you have relevant content that you want to put out there that an image is required, like this one, what I'm doing now, that's okay. But that doesn't mean you go and every paragraph you got another image. You want to have a clean image. Most of my, if anybody goes to my website, I very rarely write under a 1,500 word page. 2 images wouldn't do it for me. So the 2 image thing is so that you don't bombard your article with nothing but images.
So it's a guideline, not a rule.
Yes, it's a guideline. So like here, I don't want to put an image here because I have a video. I don't need to put an image here because I got one here. I have 2 paragraphs, almost 3 paragraphs before my next image, but my image goes along with what I'm talking about. Same thing with here, and here I would have an image. Now I don't need another image that I'm going to be talking about here because I've already talked about everything and viewed everything. So my last few paragraphs that I have, there won't be an image because I don't need one. So you don't put an image just because you want to clear up space. Google, when it comes in and views your site, it doesn't want to compete with other images. So yes, you want to limit your images, but that doesn't mean that if you got a 900 or 1,200 word article, you only have 2 images. So just be cautious. If it's less than 1,000 words, 2 images is enough.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay.
While
So
while I got you, the
yes.
one ambassador cards that you're using, I tried to copy those and stick. I couldn't get them. How did you get them into your
Okay. Yeah.
folders?
Yeah, so
I
you
went to their
can't
webpage.
copy. Yeah, you need, depending on what platform you have. In other words, if you have Microsoft or if you're using a Mac computer, there's a program. I have Snippet Editor, which is this little tool right here. So if I pull up my Wine Ambassador,
Okay,
so
I've
I'm
got
gonna go.
Mac, so I don't know if that applies.
Yeah, so all you have to do is go into your Mac and type in snipping or cutting, and see what program they have out there for it, because usually it comes with your programming.
Okay, I'll check that out.
Yeah, but those that have like the Windows platform, there's this tool that's called snipping, what is it? Snipping tool, or snip and sketch is another one. So anything that says snip, or like that, just type that into your search on your programming on your computer and see what pulls up. But usually if you have an Office program on there, or even a what do you call it, a note program or something like that, this usually comes in there. If you don't have it, just search Google and look for snipping tool for Mac computers, and usually there's a free download, or it'll take you back to your programming and tells you where it's at. So
Okay.
once you have that, then all you would have to do is just pull up your Wine Ambassador program. And a lot of people don't know where to get this. Come to your view right here, your Wine Ambassador corporate overview. And that will show you everything. It has all your pictures and images in there. And then what you can do is, once it gets to the one that you want to see, then you just pull up that snipping tool. You make sure your picture is lined the way you want it. And you could even cut this little bit off if you wanted to. And you just grab that snipping tool. You're going to have it as a new, and you see I have my mode as a rectangle. You can actually change your mode if you want it free. That means you get to choose what it wants to. If you want to clip the whole window shot, if you want to do a full screen snip, which means it'll do the whole screen, I always do just the rectangle snip. That way I can make my own design. And then you just put it here and just copy, drag it, all the areas that you want to use. Make sure it's clean, and then there's your image, and then you just save as, and you just name it, and then you can put it anywhere you want to put it.
Okay, thank you.
You're very welcome. I already have it. So that's how you use this, and it's a great tool. You can use it with anything, that you have. You can, pictures that you find on Google, Pinterest, things like that, that you want to use. You can use that won't allow you to copy, or you can't copy. Things that you find on Facebook that you can't download, or, you don't have the capacity, whatever, but that's
So
a
there's
good.
not a copyright to snippet things
No,
from
the only thing that you have the copyright is if the actual image is a copyrighted image. So if it has a copyright on it, and usually it has a little C down at the bottom, or it will not allow you to copy it at all,
Okay,
then
yeah.
that means it
So
has
it won't let you
copyright.
snip it.
Yeah.
Won't let you
No,
snip
it'll
it
let
if
you
it's got.
snip it. You can snip it all day, but you still will get in trouble because it's still a copyrighted image. Yeah, snippet,
Okay.
it doesn't follow those guidelines, but you have to be aware if the image you're snipping is a copyrighted image.
And how do you find that out?
If you originally go to try and download it, or try to go in and hit save, and it won't let you save it, or won't let you pull it up, it's a copyright. The other thing is,
okay.
it will have a little emblem down here, or it will have a watermark on it. The watermark means it's any distortion on the image that you can't get out. Usually it's like little swirls, or it's the company name, that is usually a very faint colorization throughout the whole picture. Like this one right here.
Okay,
See how
so
it has the little cameras on it?
Right.
That's a copyright.
So at
You
some
can't,
point at some point you get a warning that you're invading
not
copyrighted
always.
turf.
Not always. Google will know if it's a copyrighted image. You will get a notification, an email from Google saying that you have a copyrighted
Okay.
image in your, and they can fine you.
Okay.
So yeah, so if it, and I have had people that go in and they use snippet on a copyrighted program, image and put it in their website, it's still a copyrighted image. You still need to pay for it or ask permission from whoever owns it if you can use it.
Okay.
That's the only thing. Yeah. But that's a great tool to use for anything that you do have access to, or if there's some reason that you know that Paul, like Paul always says, there's just different images, things that, like with that one, it's on a website, you can't actually download it, but it's on one of our websites that we use, one of our affiliates, and you want to use that image. That's the best way to use it. Just like Valentis, if you don't have a copy of their product or you can't download it, that snipping tool works great on the Valentis, so you can actually get that product and put it on your page.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, you're very welcome. So I'm going to leave this for my student to come back and work on it for his homework, which he knows that's what I told him I would do. I'd get it started, and he can come in and he'll be able to finish the programming and finish the writing. He's still going to edit it and put it in his own words, which he's great at it. I'm so proud of him to be so new. He just jumped on editing it like crazy. So so that's how you know, like I said, just go through and modify and edit the page. I did it one at a time. You don't always have to do one paragraph at a time. Like with this one, there was like 2 or 3 really short paragraphs that you could basically combine the information into one paragraph. That's totally a good thing to do. You don't have to do each paragraph and do each paragraph. If you can combine a couple paragraphs into one, that's still modifying and editing your page. So, all right, let me do this. This is one word. I always forget that. So, you know, when you're, and again, the big thing about when you're doing your editing and modifying, you still want to put it as much as your own words as you can. Basically, what that means is I always say read the whole thing. Then when you go back to modify and edit, number one, you know what the page is talking about. And then number two, you can express yourself in your own writing and say how you would say that instead of just reading one paragraph and trying to put that in there. Because then, like with this one, there was a couple of paragraphs that were kind of redundant. Even though they were worded differently, they still said the same thing. So that will eliminate some of that by you reading the whole thing, getting the general consensus of what the page is conveying to you and what it's trying to come across. Then when you go back to do your modifications and your rewrites, then you know what you want to say because you already have an idea of what the page is trying to say. It makes it easier to put in your own words. That doesn't mean if there's a sentence or a phrase that you really like and you can't come up with something better, that you can't use it. Just don't use it in the exact same place that it is in the original one. Google is okay with some of that stuff. Just don't make it a habit that you use it all the time. There's some great phrases and things in here in some of the original content that there's just no better way to put it. And that's fine. Like I said, if he has it in the second paragraph, make it to where yours is in the third or fourth paragraph. That way it's not in the same place. Even change the words around it, but you know that you can use that same phrase just in a different context. If you can. So that's how you can go around with the modifications. It's still going to be 100% yours because you've changed not only the location of the phrase, but you've also changed the wording around the phrase. But put it in as much of your own personality into your pages when you write them. It just makes it a lot easier instead of trying to make it sound like Rory or Paul or Kathleen or Miss Tony or me or anybody else. You know, make it sound like you so that when people come to your website, they don't see somebody else in it. They learn your personality. They can relate to you based on how you write. So, you know, that's why I said your website is yours. You want it to make it as personal as you can and as unique as you can so that your personality and your own talents show through your website. Okay.
Sheila, you
Yes.
mentioned that you hardly ever write less than 1,500 words. I'm thinking in my mind, oh my goodness, I can't even think of 500. But the point is, is that Google looks at the amount of words, or is it, I mean, even if it's just 350 words or something, is that good? Because see,
Yes.
sometimes,
Yeah.
okay, sometimes,
Google, the minimum required for Google for any page for them to actually publish and for you to market. Now you can market any page, any content or the size of a page, but for Google to pick it up on Google searches, it has to have a minimum of 300 words.
okay, all
So
right
if
then.
you're going, yeah, if you're going for Google AdSense and you have a page in your system that's less than 300 words, don't even try for Google AdSense.
Really, even if it's just 298?
If it's less than 300 words, don't try it. It's
Oh,
got to be a minimum of 300 words.
oh, okay. Oh, Lord have mercy.
Yep, they're
Okay,
very
you,
picky about that. To them,
okay.
it's not a complete page unless it has at least 300 words.
And you talking about 900 and 1500.
I,
Oh, my goodness.
I just finished a page and literally I wrote it in like an hour maybe on gaming because that's our new in crypto. I mean, in our tipping circle, they started ES Sports Gaming Center, and my son's on it all the time. It's online gaming. And I mean, he sits in here with his headphones on, and him and his buddies. There's like 4 of them that plays this combat game. I don't even know what it's called. And I can hear him talking, "Hey man, go back there behind that. He just dropped a packet." And I'm like, "Who are you talking to?" You know. But I wrote this based on my experience in gaming because I used to love to play games. And, here's my information. I did 1,200 words and I didn't have any pictures or links. It was just writing. And I finally made myself stop because it was turning into a novel. Because there's just so much stuff that you can write on sports. All these, it's not only gaming that is gone virtual. People can actually go in now. They have these where you can build cities. I can't even remember the name of it, where you can, go in and build whole towns and
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
things like that. But the program that we have in our tipping circle now actually has that, and they're doing tournaments, that sponsored tournaments. Like, I said, I can remember when it was a Rubik's Cube. Rubik's Cubes come out again, and I'm like, I remember when we used to sit around in class when we had our free time and everybody had a Rubik's Cube. Who can do it the fastest?
Mhm.
And it's coming back out. Just different things, but everything is going online. But yeah, I did this last night, sitting watching something with the kids and didn't even realize it. And it's 1,200 words.
How did you pull up that
Oh, your
statistics showing you?
stats?
Yeah, the
Yeah,
stats.
this little icon right here,
Uh-huh.
it's your structure. It actually tells you how many words, how many headings you have, how many paragraphs, and how many blocks you used.
Wow. Okay.
So, and then if you want to see your whole structure, these icons right here tells you your block navigation. So it actually tells you the type of blocks you used and where.
Huh. Okay.
So
Thank you.
you're very welcome. So if you ever look and say, well, I don't know how many words I have, just click on this icon right here and it'll tell you basically your demographic of your page.
Okay. Thanks. I appreciate that.
You're very welcome. But yeah, if
Yeah,
you,
me too.
yeah, so the thing about writing a new page is if you write about something you like, and don't worry about the structure of your page and just put your thoughts down, you'll be surprised how much content you will have there. But if you write to advertise something, you're going to get a block every time because you're going to be thinking, okay, what's my link? What kind of picture am I going to put on there? And you will get a writer's block because then you're concentrating on selling instead of your content. I don't ever concentrate on how am I going to sell this or how am I going to market this. I concentrate on what do I know about this and how can I put it on paper,
Okay.
and write that way. Don't concentrate so much on how am I going to market this, how am I going to sell it, what kind of pictures I'm going to make, or that should be the last thing you think about. When you're writing a page, even when you're modifying a page, the first thing you should think about is what do I know about it, and how do I make it my own? If it's a brand new page, then the only thing you could be thinking it should be thinking about is, what do I know about what I'm getting ready to write about?
Right, okay. But now I have one more question for you.
Okay.
You were talking about, because I asked you about how do you put more than one image, and you told me gallery. But what if I was going back to edit that page and I already had an image in there? I tried to just click on that block and just add another image, and it wouldn't do it. So I need to like remove that block and start over again with the images and then go to gallery.
Nope. If you click on the block, unless it's in classic block, that's the only one it won't work with. But if you are in an image block, look up here in the top. You see right there where it's got the image icon?
All right. Mhm.
If you click on that, it will give you the option if you want to convert this to a gallery.
Okay.
And then once you click on
Okay,
that
now because I've
gallery,
seen that block before.
yep. Once you click on gallery, then all you got to do is choose, are you going to upload a picture or are you going to get it from your media library? If you
Okay.
already have that image in your website, then it's in your media library. Then all you have to
Okay.
do is click your media library, and then you can add those images to your gallery.
Okay, then how do you get it? Like if I want to go into a straight line or something, now because I see the media library, it'll take it right up under the image that you've already got on there.
It'll
Okay.
put them in the gallery depending on what your gallery settings are. So if you have your gallery settings to do 3, it'll put 3 in a row. If you have it to do 4, and you can choose how many you want. So if you have a gallery and you want those gallery, you say, I got 5 pictures, but I want them side by side. Then when you go to your gallery settings over here, you want to click that number to say 5, and it'll put them all 5 in a row. Now,
Okay, so
if you want them to go horizontal, no, vertical, up and down, and you got 5 images, and you do your gallery, then you want to tell it that you want it to your gallery, you only want 1, and then that way it will put each one of them down one at a time.
okay, now on your gallery settings where your hand is, when you do that arrow, is that where it's gonna tell me how many?
Yep.
No,
And because
okay,
I only have 1 image here, it doesn't have a gallery setting, but if I had 2 images here, it would have that number that said 3.
okay,
You know,
that's what I
because I
was.
had 3 images. So you get to choose how many images you want to show up. So if you download 5 images, it's going to put all 5 images there, and then you have to go to your gallery settings and tell it, I only want 2 images together at a time, or I want 3 images, or I want all 5 of them in one block.
Okay then, all right, thanks, I appreciate it.
No problem.
Sheila, it's Constance. One quick question.
Uh-huh.
You probably said it. When you do your gallery, there's no way to make them smaller. I don't know why I'm pulling a blank on it.
No, the gallery will actually modify itself based on the block it's using. Your block already comes with a preset dimension. So if you have your images, just like this one down here, it's an image, but now I can control the size of that image, okay? Once I get it in here.
I'm
Now,
sorry, I must have said a gallery. I meant a gallery.
Yep, so now if I want to come up here and create a gallery, so I'm gonna come here and do a gallery,
Yeah,
and I'm gonna get them from my library.
right.
The images are already in a specific order. So I'm just gonna click on my different, just random pictures. I'm gonna choose something else in case I want to leave it in there. So this one's 3. I want to do more than 3. Let's do more than 3 pictures. So let me grab another one that I
You
want.
you can click on all at one time though,
Yep,
instead of
as
doing
long as
one.
you got, yep, as long as you have that gallery, you can click on as many as you want. Just remember that, you know, it's going to take, it's taking up space on your picture, on your page. So so that's the thing. So I want to get one more Bitcoin. All right, so then I'm going to click add create gallery. So then it shows me my pictures, and then I can choose what order I want to put these pictures in. So I want to put her last. There we go. All right, and then insert into my gallery. So that's how it shows up. But
Can't
I
make that
want-
smaller, right?
so see, if I change my gallery columns, then I got my 4 up here and then I got my big one. But if I
Oh,
want to do them
Oh,
all 5 of them, so now all 5 of them's there. Okay, so
okay.
so it shrinks the image based on the size of my block. So this is the size of my block and it's taking up this space. Okay, so that's the thing, is it's only going to be as big as the space that's allocated. Now, if I drop this down to 4, then because this is a big picture, based on the size dimension of the picture, it's going to stay that big. I
Oh.
can't shrink it at all because it's in my gallery. If it wasn't in my gallery, then I could shrink it.
Right, right.
But you can use that X and just take it out altogether then,
Yeah, I
right?
can take it out altogether. If I go through here and say, man, that's just too many pictures, I don't want it in there, then you click the X and that picture's gone. Okay. But then if I go, well, hey, I can just change my status, then I just undo. As long as you don't update, it will be back. And then I just change my column settings to 5, and then I have all 5 of them back.
Okay.
But if they're always gonna stay that tiny size, you can't.
No, not in a
all-
gallery.
I gotcha, I gotcha.
Yeah. Only on individual images can you manipulate the size of your image. Once you
Right.
put it in a gallery, you can't.
Gotcha. Sorry, I just pulled the
Oh,
blank.
you're fine. Perfect question.
Mhm.
That's good to go. You're not the only one, I promise. So, and then I'm just going to remove this because I already had a picture. Anybody else on this before we go? I see there's some stuff. Hold on, let me see what's in the chat. All right, see you next week.
Thank you, Sheila. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, Gail, yeah, your images on your ambassador page,
Uh-huh.
the only thing is if you have that snipping tool, that's the only way you're going to get them. You can't
Okay,
download those
yeah.
images.
I think I put that in there before I actually asked you audibly.
Okay.
so-
So yeah, and you can do that with any of our affiliates, like with CJ, they actually have a link that you can use for images that you get from them that's already tied and linked to you. But if it's on just the basic
if they're-
website,
To go back to that,
go
no, I
ahead.
was just going to say, if there are affiliates, if they're people that we do business with, we can. Does the copyright apply to those things, or are we allowed
If
to
you're
use
an
their stuff?
affiliate with that company, you can go and use their images. That's why I tell people always use, if you read your agreement with them, if you're already on CJ, you have access to those images. They're actually there for you.
Okay.
Yeah, it's part of
And
their
you have to
code.
use the snipping tool to take
Yeah.
them out.
Yeah, so, or you can use the snipping tool, but if you are in CJ, the HTML code for any of the images there is what you would use. So if I come here to CJ, I haven't been on here
Okay.
in a while. So I don't even know what's here. Ah, I knew it. Okay.
Been off too long?
I have, because I've been doing
had to
Tipping
do-
Circle.
Yeah, I had to do that the other day too, Sheila, reactivate my account.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I got to click on these. And I knew, and I got to get in there and get back in here because I've been on Tipping Circle, and by clicking on, oh, got to read this agreement. Yeah, I read it. Okay.
Don't mess with that. That's okay.
All right. So,
I'm sure that question will come up again with me.
yeah. So when
I'm a
you come,
repeater.
so when you come into CJ, I'm supposed to have money in there. I got to get my money, find out where my money goes. If you come here to your links, and anything that has a picture on it, you have access to that picture through the HTML code. So like this one right here has this banner. When you
Okay.
come here to get code, this HTML code right here is for that banner. So all you'd have to do is copy that code and go to your website. And let's get rid of this block. And instead of using an image block, you would use the HTML code, custom HTML, and you would paste that in there. And then you click preview, and there's your banner.
Okay,
Oh, okay.
okay.
And this banner will be linked already, so you don't have to put a link in. You don't have to do anything. The downside to that is you can't tell it to open in a new tab. So if anybody clicks on your banner, it's going to immediately take them away from your website. That's the
Mm.
only downfall to using those. So if you want
Oh.
to use those, I suggest you use them at the very bottom of your page.
Okay.
But yeah, but otherwise you can do a snipping tool also. Like say you put it in your website here, then use your snipping tool to snip it out, and then remove it, and then you can link it with your HTML with your custom link.
Gotcha.
So then you do your click URL, and then you just link your picture.
Very good.
Okay.
What,
Thank you.
hold on 1 second. So the banner, say if I got one on, I have a banner on one of the pages right now. If I wanted to remove it because you said it's already linked, and I couldn't put it, under the link that I wanted, I have to use a snipping tool to take it from that place and put it somewhere else, and then put my.
No, you can use it as many times as you want. Just remember that when they click on it, it's already linked to you. But when they click on it, it's going to take them straight to your affiliate over your page. So they will leave your page and not have access to get back to it.
Oh my, okay. Well, I
Yeah.
gotta go back through some pages too.
So, but that's why I said, if you have it like in the beginning or the middle of your page and they're like, oh, I like that, let me click on it. As soon as they click on it, it's going to overwrite your website and take them straight to that page for your advertiser. And if they decide to buy, that's great. That, it's going to account for you. You're going to get monetized for it. But if they were like, okay, now where's my website I was just at?
Oh,
Then they will
okay.
have to go back and find your website again, unless they bookmarked it, or they will have to hit their back button to go back to your website. So it takes
Okay,
them
then.
completely out of your website.
Oh, okay then. So that
you
the
still-
setting button, you cannot say add
you don't
new page. You don't have a setting button for that
No,
on the
not
banner.
when you use their code.
Okay, thanks.
Not when you use their banner.
You still get credit for the purchase. They
Yeah.
just don't have access to your site again.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. I'll find out what happened to my money.
Unless they're smart enough to know hitting the back button to get them back
I-
where they were.
That's bothering me. It's just
I
like,
know it is.
I
Well,
have
they have
money
to-
in there. Where's my money?
They have to put it somewhere.
See, Sheila, I don't have that problem.
That
Yeah, I
hurt
don't
my
either.
heart. It's like,
I'd offer to help, but I don't have any money.
yeah, we're going
I'm afraid they're gonna start charging me after a while.
we're gonna find out what happened to that. I got to look into that. I had some money in there. I would just let it stack up.
I'm with you. I'm going to get charged for, you've entered that training set too many times. You need to move on.
I'm gonna go find out what happened to that. But yeah, so there's, that's our training for today. So let's see if there's any more questions. We did go over a lot, but the one thing I just want to make sure, and this is just something that I've noticed in the last year, that, when we do get students that come in, and even our older students that's been around for a while that's still modifying the page, it just seems like that your links and your images is causing stumbling blocks. So when you come to a page that you want to modify, if you just go ahead and take your links out, especially if it's a page you haven't touched, and go ahead and take all your images out and work with a clean slate and just have your content, it seems like your mind can process things a lot better than you trying to figure out, well, what am I going to do with that picture, or what link am I going to put in. So my general consensus is just think about, read your page. A lot of people don't read it. They just see the title, oh, this is another wine page, and then they try to work paragraph by paragraph by paragraph and not really know what the page is talking about. So if you read your page first, that way you have an idea what the page is talking about. then it makes it a lot easier to go back through and change out those paragraphs, because then you know what is in each paragraph. And like I said, by doing his Canada page, you found 3 and 4 different paragraphs that basically said the same right behind each other that you can compartmentalize into one paragraph. And it makes it easier to do. And then it's in your own words, because you already know what the page is about, so you know how you want to say it. Instead of coming up on a new paragraph and just trying to do it paragraph by paragraph without actually knowing what the whole page is about. To me, that just makes it easier. You got all your distractions out of the way. Then once you have your page exactly the way you want it, it says exactly the way you want it, then worry about putting your images and your links in. You already know if it's a wine page, it's going to have your link in it. Where you put it's totally up to you. Same
Okay.
thing with images.
So how many wine clubs that are already activated? I know you mentioned Canada you can use Canada now, but you mentioned something about the UK and
Yeah,
Australia.
Yeah, they're not active yet. So, but you can still write your pages as coming soon, especially if you had them for the other company that we were in. Don't take them
Yeah.
down, because that's still traffic, that's still recognition you're getting. Go and modify your page and say, hey, new program in process, coming soon to your area or coming to your country, we will have it available soon. And change your verbiage to match our new program. But
Okay.
don't take it out.
Okay, and then is it just the UK and Australia? What about the other?
Canada, we don't know
the
about
US
Germany. But the thing about it is, with this program, is once we get that platform for the countries for no ship platform together, we'll be able to market it worldwide. They can actually do that program anywhere. So right now they're just getting regulations and getting the platform built to where they can go anywhere with it.
Okay, but like these pages were modified back a while ago.
Yep.
And
So
but now that you said this,
so modify it to the new program and put coming soon to the other countries, because right now Canada and the United States is the only one that can get it right now.
okay, all right
Well, I've
then.
just been pulling my links out for the wine club and putting in wine ambassador. I haven't really done a lot of verbiage changing.
Yeah, you still want, you got to change it, because anything that says direct sellers or things that says wine from all over the world, we don't do that. Our wines are coming exclusively from Napa and Sonoma Valleys.
Okay.
Okay, and not all over the world like the other
Nope.
one said.
No.
And we're
Not
not
saying that they
just-
won't get wines from other places, because Australia has great wine vineyards, but so does Canada. We have Italy has great vineyards, but we are not marketing or have access to those companies as of yet. So right now, all of our wines are coming exclusively from Napa and Sonoma Valleys. There's over 750 or 850 vineyards there between those two
Wow.
counties. So I don't think we're going to be running out anytime soon.
And the only other changes are the fact that we're not reps, we're wine ambassadors,
We're
and the names of the
ambassadors.
different categories and
Yep.
what you're given. Okay.
Yep. And at right now, used to, you could order either all reds or all whites. You can't get that on your monthly shipment. They're always going to be coming mixed, but you can go in and individually order if you want all reds
Well,
and
I'm
all
glad
whites
you said something. I'll have
as a
to change
separate
that.
order. Yeah.
Sheila, let me ask you one more question.
Yes, ma'am.
I had heard that those of us that got Rory's original program a while back, I'm about a year and a half old. Well, as a student,
Yeah, me too.
that a lot of the pages that he had first administered have become obsolete, where things are no longer available. How do we find out which ones we should no longer be messing with?
Get with your instructor and
Okay.
tell her you need the current site map.
Okay.
Okay, then.
Yeah. And that will have all the ones. Now, the thing about it is, even though there's some that are obsolete, like with mine, there's some things that we don't use anymore, but I still have affiliates with it. So I'm not taking my pages out because I still have access to those companies. So if you still have access to those companies, still use them. You know, they're still there for you to use, still use those pages. If you've advertised those pages when we did have access to those companies and we don't anymore, and you still got ads running, don't take those ads out. Just remove your links or change over your verbiage to another company that you can find.
Okay, that's just like when I first came on, they had the As Seen on TV and Global TV and all that stuff. Now you've got the new program out. And I thought I took out all the links to that except the Google and the Android and all. But what do I do with those pages? I have to modify them to the new program now, or what?
Yep, the tipping circle and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, so just like the tipping circle, it's a free program. You can come on in and use that. But if there's programs in there that we're not using and that you don't have access to anymore, but you advertised them, then definitely you want to just go in, take the links out, change the verbiage to something new, or just leave the verbiage in there. And then whenever you find another program to replace it, it's still there. If it's a page you have not advertised, that means you haven't gone on any of the ad sites or put anything out there. It's just been sitting in your website. Then yeah, you can put that in draft until you come up with something else.
Okay.
Okay,
Right,
Sheila, it was called if I get the new pages or the current, it was current what now?
I hear noise in the background. It's hard for me to hear people talking. So, all right. So here's the thing, if it's a program, like I am part of Royalty Gems.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Most people don't use that anymore. I still use it. So, but it's obsolete according to our sitemap. So that's not something I want to take off my website because I still use it. I still market it. So if you have a program like that you still have access to it, you can still use it. Your links are still good. You've advertised it out there. You don't want to get rid of that program because you've gained traffic from it. You know, people seen it out there. However, if it's a program that we're not using anymore, but we do have a program that can take its place, if it's a published page on your site, go ahead and modify it to the new program that we have available that can replace it. But if it's a program that we don't use anymore, there's nothing out there and you've never advertised it, then yes, you can take that and put it in draft until you find something. But if it's a page that you've advertised and it's not there anymore, don't take that advertised page out and put it in draft. Just take your links out and leave it there because you've already got traffic to it. By you taking down an advertised page, you're losing traffic that you've gained not only for that page, but also for your system. And the people that have the link to that page, they'll click on it and it'll show up page not found, and they'll think, oh, this company's gone out of business. And you're not, it's just that page isn't there. So if it's an advertised page, don't remove it. Just take your links out and they can still come and read the content. Then when you find something to take its place, then you'll just modify the content to your new program.
Sheila,
Yes.
just like that page on Dynasty's Warcraft Tycoon Gold. Okay, that link is no longer available.
No, but that's what I was saying in Tipping Circle. If you go to your Tipping Circle, and this is the other thing, that's the games program. So if you go to your Tipping Circle and you're going to go to your integrated apps, and if you click on right here, Prime One Play, you can use this link. Here's your link right here that you can put in there for your games, for anything that has to do with games. You can write that because that Warcraft game is in here because here's all your games.
Okay, where's the link? Can you point to it, the link?
Yeah, so when you pull up your Tipping Circle, everybody should be signed up with their Tipping Circle with their instructor. So when you go into your tipping circle, you're going to come here to your integrated apps. You're going to click on Prime One Play, and it's going to open up this page. And the link right here is the link that you put in your gaming programs or your gaming page.
Okay.
And we'll talk
All
about
right.
that some more when we get on our training this week.
Okay, then. Thanks. I appreciate it.
Okay, no problem.
But in
'cause
the
my-
meantime, this is all a part of your recording, right?
Yeah, yep.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
thanks. I appreciate that. That's
No problem. But yes, when you go to your tipping circle, each one of these has its own link. So when you come to your chat, there's your Prime One chat. That's the link you would use for the free chat. Same thing for the TV. If you want to promote the TV, there's the link for the TV. And then you have Prime One City for your heliums. If you want to get people to sign up for your helium hubs, there's that. There's your link for that. So you have your own individual links that you can sign people up for. So you want to use those.
So now we have an affiliate link for people to buy helium hotspots from us.
Yes, but this is not for the gold hub, the gold back coin.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. This is just for the general public.
Okay.
Sheila, this is Karen. If
Yes.
you were just offering Tipping Circle to, let's say, a family member, how do they, if you just give them the website, how is it connected to you?
The website right here, because if you want them to go, you always want them to go to your page.
Right.
But if you just do the invite, you want to go here to where it says Tipping Circle,
Uh-huh.
go to where it says Invite Friends.
Okay.
Okay.
And that will connect them to your personal.
Yes, this goes to your personal tipping circle.
Okay.
And then once they get into the tipping circle, then they will have this profile and they can go to their apps, and then all the apps will be linked to you. However,
Okay.
if you want to get credit for it to show up in your own tipping circle rewards and things, you want to make sure that you give them the individual link for each program.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah.
So how would you email them that separately, or how would
You do a page. Everything should go to your website. So you need to create a page. You don't want to give them just your link, because number one, you're losing traffic to your website. And number two, then they don't have access to your website. So you always want to make sure that you have a page created. Now you can do one complete page that says, hey, you want free TV? Here's your link for your free TV, and talk about your free TV. Then you can talk about the free chats. You can talk about the gaming program. You can talk about Helium Hub. That should be like your Performance Giving Network page. And it will have each one of those individual listed out for them, and then each one of them will have your individual link based on the program they want to go to. That way you can accumulate that residual credit for when they upgrade to the premium packages for those programs.
Okay. But if I just want to invite them, I just go there, and that automatically connects them to me.
Yep.
Okay.
But by virtue of giving them this link that you're showing here, if they go to gaming or whatnot, you won't get
You
commission?
can, but there's been some glitches in it. That's why, make sure you read your chat on your tipping circle chat, because that's what Stacy was saying, that Peter came back. I think she said it Thursday or Friday. I'm trying to remember when I was reading it, that they want you to use your individual link for each individual app now.
Well, that's a pain.
Not if you have a page.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Not if you want to sell individually and get credit for each one of them.
Yeah, because
versus-
that way it will show up. Because the thing about it is with the TV, same thing with the chat, same thing with the gaming. When they upgrade to those paid programs, you get that commission every month, that residual every month that they keep that program going. If they get it on the wrong link, or they have to go hunt it down, it might take a while for it to get to you. So by you giving them your direct link for that particular program, it's automatic.
Okay.
So that's why I say, If you have your performance giving network or your giving network or programming network, or however you have your page or create a page for that, then that's what you want to have in there. Here is our integrated apps. We have an app for chatting. We have an app for gaming, online gaming. We have an app for virtual TV. We have an app for our Helium hubs that allows you to gain virtual crypto just by free bits in the air. And then each one of those will have a link. Either it's your picture or you have actual links for your verbiage, but you want to use the individual links. Like for your hotspot, here's my link. For your gaming, there's your link. So you want to make sure that you have that, because then it's directly related to the individual program that they've signed up for.
Well, I better go back and read about Tipping Circle then.
So yeah, we're going to talk about that Tipping Circle, and they keep adding stuff that's going to be in there as they get permission to do it. So these integrated apps are just going to keep growing as they add different things to it. The mobile apps are not functioning quite yet, but the integrated apps are still working. The TV's working, the chats are working. The gaming system's been out for a while, according to what I've read, but we've just gotten permission to use them in our Tipping Circle. So these are products and systems that have been out there. We are just now getting access to market them through our programming. So there's people already out there that's aware of it. Now you just need to make them aware of your website that's marketing it. So that's why I said everything needs to come back to your website. Yes, you can send out an individual link, but then no one knows what your website is and what else you have to offer them in your website. Your website's your key. That's going to be your bread and butter once it gets built and gets functioning properly. If you just send them a link, that's all they have is a link.
Now, my question really was, like, I gave this to my son and he's like, I don't get it.
Yeah, so when
so I was trying to figure out how it was connected to me without, if I just gave him the tipping, sent them my.
So if you go to your Tipping Circle and go to your connections, anybody that has connections in here to you,
Right.
That's yours.
Okay.
So if they come here, and he should have a dashboard too when he logs in, and he can just go to his apps.
Yeah, he's showing in there because I sent him a tip to make him go in there.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure how it was all going to connect to me, and I haven't finished all my pages on those, so I just was curious if it was connected.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, so you should be good as long as he's there. And if he's in your Tipping Circle, then anything that he signs up with should relate to you. It just might not always show up immediately.
Okay, got it. Okay, thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Anybody else got any more questions? We're just about done. Anything else?
Well, that was a lot. That was very informative, and I appreciate it. And please put me on your appointment book.
Yeah. You and Miss Linda Marie. But so yeah, I think we can get together. Listen for me to send you something out today, because I'll probably do my schedule today instead of tomorrow, because tomorrow's going to be busy. I'm going to be on Goya lines about all day tomorrow. So plus I have a training tomorrow too. So so yeah, we'll get it going. But yeah, just remember, guys, like I said, you want to always, even though we have individual links for everything and we are link posting and stuff, remember the link you should be posting should be directly in correlation with your website, because that's going to be your key, is getting that recognition on Google, getting that Google traffic, getting access, people to recognize, hey, you got more than one thing. That's why we say we have multiple streams of income. If you're just sending them one individual link, you're cutting off the legs of your other incomes.
One more question on that. When we were looking at the dashboard a while ago, and you could put in your Tipping Circle link. If we put in our personal link, that's what we should use, though, right? because you're not going to have a dozen different links that you could put
No.
in on the dashboard
Mm-mm.
when you're customizing. So you just put in your one link, right?
Yeah, so what you're gonna do is when you create your giving network or your giving page that's actually links all of these together,
Uh-huh.
you're going to send them, number one, hey, go to my tipping circle. And the reason you want them to sign up for your tipping circle link is because this is where they can create their tipping circle bucket. Okay, this is the only place they can create this. And your tipping bucket is where they can create like a GoFundMe account, or they can go in and create fundraising accounts where they can, you know, market to different, you know, different things like that. Basically, it's a fund me account that they can create. They can actually do, you know, an online crypto wallet through their tipping circle. But tipping circle also gives them the door to Prime Gate 1, which is where they're going to get their games, they're going to get their chat, they're going to get the TV, they're going to get the Helium hubs. But you can also directly send them to those places by letting them know, hey, we have this available. Either create individual pages or create one page that introduces each one, almost like a category page, and say, hey, do you like, you know, streaming TV? We have a free program, plus we have a premium program for $49.95. You know, if you're interested in, hey, I got some information that you can look at. And then that's where you're going to send them that individual link right here for your, like this one's for gaming, but you'll send them this link that shows up when you click your integrated apps for your TV.
But I was
So
thinking
same
about
thing
your
with gaming.
dashboard, your main dashboard, when, like we were doing the customized page a while ago.
Mhm.
Okay, so that main link at the bottom where we had the Facebook and tipping circle, you would use that personal link right there, right?
This right here is to get them to come to your tipping circle. Yes.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay, because you're
Yeah.
not going to give them all those other page links. You're just going to give them that one right now, and then you're going to direct them to your actual dashboard.
Well, that's why I said you want to do all of it.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
because there's things here in the tipping circle that's not going to be in the gaming link. They can't
Okay.
get to the tipping bucket and the tipping wallet through that gaming link.
Okay.
Or through the hotspot link, or through the TV link. They can only get it through tipping circle, but tipping circle is the doorway to all of them.
Right. Okay, I got it. Thanks.
Yeah. You're welcome.
If they sign up for Tipping Circle, then they can go in and get the links themselves.
Yeah, they can.
Go to the
And it'll still
apps.
come to you. But if you're creating, like, you know, most of our gaming pages are gone. There's a lot of gaming stuff that we don't have access anymore, like Game Loop's gone. A lot of people don't even have that. The interactive mobile gaming, those are gone. So this is the gaming program can replace those pages that's in your system. So
Okay.
if you're looking for a link, here's your link, and it will
Okay.
bring them straight to here instead of going through your tipping circle. So
Got it.
different ways to market, but it's still the same program. You can give them the tipping circle, which is the big umbrella for all the programs. But if you want to write a page for each individual program, your link is right there. Which is what I highly suggest, because not everybody's going to understand the tipping circle, but you can go out there and say, hey, I got some great online gaming program. Here it is.
I didn't even know
Right.
that existed. So, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So yeah, so there's let's see. How do you invite someone to tipping circle that sends it to you?
You just answered it.
Okay. So yeah, but tipping circles are great. It's the platform for all of them. But like I said, if you wanted to create individual pages, you don't use your tipping circle link for those pages. You actually use the link for that particular program. So that's the thing I wanted to get across. But if you do like a main page that, number one, explains tipping circle, and then says, hey, this is what you have access to through tipping circle, then break out each program that we have, then that's where you want to use the individual link for each program. You don't use your tipping circle to bring them to the sports, you know, say, hey, we got this great sports game, sign up here, and then you use your Tipping Circle link, because that's not going to take them to the sports program. So that's why I was saying, make sure when you're using your Tipping Circle that you're talking about the Tipping Circle and the different aspects of it. But if you're talking about the sports, or you're talking about the chat, or you're talking about the TV, that you use the actual link that takes them straight to the TV, straight to the chat, straight to the gaming.
Okay, yep,
Makes sense now?
Yeah.
That's,
definitely.
it took me a minute to get myself. Let me see
Should've
how
said
to
that
get
in
this.
first place.
Well, so much has been thrown at us lately. So,
Yes, trust me. You ought to hear us on Monday nights.
oh, I bet for, oh, I can imagine.
So, but yeah, so there's a lot going on, and this just
Yeah.
keeps getting added to it. I think they added like 2 or 3 different video TV channels this week on the premium TV
Oh, good.
program. So it's there's always adding stuff, and as soon as they get access to add more, they will. I know right now they're trying to get Canada finalized, and getting Australia up and running next for wine ambassador, and Rory's still working with Valentis to make sure that we can include them in the Grapevine, just automatic pre-enroll like we do with the wine and Tipping Circle. Hopefully that'll start showing up soon too. So yeah, so just keep going, just modify your pages, any free time you have, even if it's just 5 or 10 minutes, to do a paragraph, or, add a picture or something. If you don't have that much time and you've got your anchor offer pages done, then take 5 or 10 minutes and go put a couple ads out, so that you can get some traffic coming to your website. But do something every day in your website to make it better and to make it more uniquely yours. Okay. All right, I'm
Okay.
done.
Thanks, Sheila.
Thanks as always, Sheila. You're
Yes,
the best.
thank you.
Anytime.
Thank
And
you
this
so
will be
much.
on. I need to know who is not on our student classroom chat. If you will put your name, those of you that didn't get that link invite on your Skype, let me know. Just type your name in chat and I will add you to our student training class. And that way,
I didn't know
instead of
about
me,
that.
yeah, that way, instead of me trying to reach out to each one of your instructors, I can go straight to that chat and say, hey, we got an issue, I can't make it, or, if you have classes, or if there's something I want to, people are asking about on the chat, or on the training that you want access to, I don't have to go through your instructor to get it to you.
Okay, I put my name in.
Okay, good. So I'll be adding you to those chats. So that way, basically, let's do it this way. I am going to send it to you. And as soon as I find it.
It's just a student one, right?
Yeah.
You already got that. A student class one. I got that.
Good. And I am going to.
Along with the other 50 chats.
Tell me about it.
I got like 99 messages. I just gave up trying to keep up with them. It's ridiculous.
It is. It's
You sit here all day and try and keep up.
It
and
does. That's why I try to
do anything
look
else.
at it every once in a while.
Yeah.
So if you have not been, if you're not on the chat group, I'm going to put the link here. So if you would copy it and
That doesn't
invite yourself to it.
Is that's a new link or something?
Yeah, I think you should already be in there.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait,
I'm in the
Sheila,
other one.
I'm not your student though. Is that
No,
just for
this
your-
is just for our student classroom.
So it's just for your students?
No, it's for the
Oh,
student
okay.
classroom. Yeah, that's
Oh,
for
okay.
whoever shows up on our Saturday call.
Okay, okie doke. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, dears, gentlemen, that's all I have for today.
Well, listen, I've enjoyed it, and please enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Will do.
You stay safe.
Listen, talk to you next week.
All right, darlings.
Have a
Y'all
good
have
one,
a
okay?
good one, and we will see you next week.
Okay, then.
Keep
Stay
getting
safe.
better, Sheila.
Huh?
Keep getting better.
I learned from y'all. Your questions help keep me straight. I promise
No,
you.
I think you misunderstood. I said
Oh,
keep
better.
feeling better. Yeah.
Oh, thank
Uh,
you. Thank
you
you. I will.
yeah,
I'm
you
going
can't. You're the best as far as training.
I just
Absolutely.
want
That
y'all
is so
to
true.
just
That is very true.
Absolutely.